Oh, let me bring up
Right.
your.
Okay, do you want to maybe move that close just in case? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
All right.
There it
Oh,
is.
here we go. Let's invite. Let me just click on that. So, okay, we sent you an invitation, Odette.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I think that you. Oh, we'll turn this down here. Hold on a second.
turn it all the way. There we go.
All right.
Sound good now?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We
and
can hear you.
I wonder,
Okay.
do you think there's going to be like a double echo there on TikTok?
If you are joining us on TikTok, let us know if you're hearing some weird sound stuff. Okay, we would appreciate it. We're trying
Should be, yeah.
something a little bit
Okay,
new.
Odette, why don't you talk? Just I don't know.
Yeah, you just gotta bring
Say
us in,
that.
Odette. Just do the introduction.
Oh, hello. I'm Odette Batchelor, retired USCIS employee. Can you hear me?
Can you guys hear that? Okay. Is there an echo?
Yeah, if you're on TikTok with us right now, if you could just let us know if the sound was clear or if there was a TikTok an echo, we would greatly
Appreciate it.
Okay,
Yes.
let's go ahead and get started.
And I'm going to share while you're doing introductions.
Right, how's everyone doing out there tonight?
How's everyone
All
doing?
right, Tutu Osmond told us that the sound is fine. Thank you
Okay,
so much for that input.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. My name is John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Attorney Mendoza. We are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. We come to you pretty much every Wednesday from 8 o'clock to 8:45 to bring you immigration updates and to answer your immigration questions. We have different topics every week. And tonight we are going to be talking about some of the immigration scams that are out there. Radlin was recently interviewed by our regional newspaper, the Virginian Pilot, on this very issue. So we thought that it would be a good idea and timely to go ahead and bring some information to you all, some warnings. And if you have questions about it, we will get to those. If you have questions that are completely unrelated to scam stuff, go ahead and post them. We will still try to get to those. Radlin can answer some. I will try to answer some. And we have a very, very special guest with us tonight who joins us often now, which is such a treat for us. And she also can answer some of the questions and brings really, really great insight into all of this. Odette Batchelor, who is retired USCIS officer. Radlin, you can add some more to this since you have a special relationship here. Yeah.
Oh, it is very special. Yes. Odette and I worked together. She was the immigration officer, the senior immigration officer. I was the immigration attorney. And I've interviewed before her many, many times before she retired this past August. And she has worked a total of 42 years with USCIS and Legacy INS, Immigration and Naturalization Services. Probably some of you weren't even born when INS was around. It's been so long. So she has recently retired, and we have scooped her up to help us help you with your questions. And we have this amazing insight. So Odette, thank you again for being here. Guys,
yeah,
listen.
Take advantage. I'm sorry, go ahead. Take advantage of this.
We're saying the same thing. Make sure you join us live every single week because Odette will probably be here. So anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, this is the opportunity. For decades, Odette was the one who was reviewing these applications and denying them or approving them, and ultimately was running the show over there. So she knows it from top to bottom. This is like getting a chance to you've been throwing all your pitches and you don't know why they're getting called as balls or strikes. Hey, what if you can just talk to the umpire and ask the umpire, hey, what are you seeing with my pitches? What's making you call some of them balls, some of them strikes? What is your perspective? This is your opportunity to really have the inside scoop here from Odette. So Odette, as always, thank you for joining us tonight. Great to have you.
Right.
Thank you.
And with the reason we're talking about immigration scams is because now more than ever, when people are vulnerable, they're feeling the most vulnerable, that is when they become victim to some of these scams, and it's very, very sad to say and to see what's going on. But immigration scams are not new. They're not new. They have been around since
time immemorial.
time immemorial, since certainly since we've started practicing immigration law. We started our law practice 26 years ago, and Odette is going to talk about some of the cases that she's seen, and so are we. But the first thing that we want to discuss is notario fraud. Now, notario fraud, when we talk about that, it is when people in the community who
Pause for one moment. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. It's rude to interrupt you just right in the mid-sentence, but
no problem.
I forgot something tonight. Despite the fact we've been doing this for years now, I forgot to tell
6 years.
you 6 years now that I've been doing the introduction, and tonight I forgot to remind everyone that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Continue.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
Sorry.
That's very, very
Had
important.
to get that disclaimer out there.
Thank you for interrupting me for that very important announcement. It is not legal advice. So what I was saying is a notario is a person, usually a person in the community, and they are purporting to know how to do immigration law, right? Like, I can file your forms, I got this, and they may or may not be filing the right application for you. And so sometimes people think that, oh, I'm going to go with a notario because they're going to be cheaper than an immigration lawyer. Many times that is not true. That is just simply not true. And notarios can charge double what immigration attorneys charge. I've seen it. We've heard about it. And we were just talking about it in a case that we are helping this family, and the notario charged them $20,000 per person for this case. And it was a case that it's a fraudulent case. It's a completely fraudulent case. Thankfully, we're going to be able to salvage their case, but that is not always going to happen where the immigration lawyer can salvage it. So, Odette, you have experience with dealing with cases and have seen you've been seeing cases. You've seen cases where a notario has filed the application. Tell us when you guys find out at USCIS, and set the stage for us where someone is the victim of notario fraud.
We've seen a lot of different cases. It could be, we don't know that they filed it. When we see the form, we don't know. All we know is when they come into an interview and we're asking the questions on the application, going through it line by line, and these people have no clue. Like, they were like, they could be, I didn't sign that. That's not my information. It may not be their spouse's information, wrong addresses. I mean, when they, after going through everything, is when they realize, well, that's when they tell us, hey, we use someone else, we use a notario, and this is what they told us, and they filed these paperwork for us, but we didn't know. They just said they would we gave them all our information and they would file the paperwork. They showed us a receipt, which wasn't a USCIS receipt, a proper one. It could be a lot of different instances. They come into InfoPass trying to get a stamp for their passport because they filed an I-90, and come to find out there's no I-90 pending for them. So their money was taken. We have no pending application, and therefore they get no stamp. So they can't travel. There's a lot of different scenarios, but we've seen them all.
Right. And so with the I-90 one, that's really curious, because what you're saying is you have already a lawful permanent resident of the United States. They have their 10-year green card, and they are hiring a notario to file their I-90 to get the next 10-year green card. So what you're saying is, okay, they pay them the money, they pay them the filing fees, they maybe give them a fake receipt to show that it was filed, which is very easy to do, right? To fabricate. And you're saying they make the InfoPass, there's no I-90 filed for you.
Correct.
And
no
so then
pending application.
they realize that they've just been swindled and their money has been taken, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And before we started, you mentioned that people leave your office crying and in tears. And why is that?
Because they lost their money, the information isn't correct, they weren't eligible to even file that application. Like there's no priority date available for them. The child could have already aged out, but when they filed the application, they were over 21. There's a lot of different scenarios, but those are some of the ones we see the most.
Right. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Yeah.
And folks who are, willing to commit fraud and take people, I mean, obviously this is fraud, it's criminal behavior. And so they're not concerned with whether these cases are viable or not. I think when we were talking earlier, you said that one of the real drivers is promising people things that just they can't actually get, telling them
Correct.
they can, oh yeah, we can do that for your daughter. Oh yeah, we can get that in 1 month, and the people are willing to pay these folks because they want the result that's being promised, but it's a result that's not possible.
Correct.
Right. And that's especially dangerous right now, right? I'm going to pull this a little bit closer. That is especially dangerous right now because let's just say you have a sibling in the United States, right? This scenario comes up for us a lot when people call and they say, oh, I want to file for my brother. He's here on a tourist visa. I'm a U.S. citizen. I already filed the I-130 petition and I filed the green card application. Somebody helped me with it, right? And I paid them. And I'm just like, you can't file the green card application for your brother, right? There is no visa that is immediately available that's going to allow your brother to adjust status. It's going to take 20 years, right? It's going to take 20 years. They got to go back. But by this time, right, brother has overstayed his I-94. And now with just this enforcement, right, in these immigration policies, let's just imagine the scenario where they go into the immigration office. Maybe you guys call them in for an interview because like, okay, what's going on here? I mean, it probably is going to get denied at the service center first, but maybe not. Maybe USCIS is like, oh, okay, we're going to send this to the field office because this is we could possibly get this person. This person is now out of status. I don't know if that will happen or not, but it could, right? So let's just say they end up at USCIS now with some of the immigration policy that we have with the person who's out of status. That person has no remedy available to them. Isn't it possible that this person could be issued a notice to appear in immigration court, right, at this interview?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just minding your own business thinking that, yeah, you're going to get your green card through your brother. Completely incorrect. Whoever told you that. And you could be issued an NTA. But isn't there a worst case scenario there, Odette?
Worst case scenario is that they're picked up. They come to the office, they see the officer already sees they're out of status, and they may have already have called ICE. You just never know what's gonna happen.
Right. So that's devastating, right? You go to your immigration interview thinking you might be getting a green card, and you're putting handcuffs and being detained and getting shipped to, Louisiana, wherever. So it's especially dangerous to do that.
Well, let's talk about something that's not quite as dire as that. Let's say you're not picked up, but when a case like this comes to your office and it was not correctly done, but the filing fees were paid. Now, if the person, when you discover that this was unauthorized practice of law, this was a scam, it was fraud, do the folks get their filing fee back when you all have discovered that they were scammed?
They do not.
Okay, so they're out the filing fees.
So yes. For a case like that, we're talking about, an I-130 green card application, work permit. We're talking about $3,005.
Mm-hmm. And then what is your responsibility, or was your responsibility, to go after to try to recover the money that they paid to the scammer?
Unfortunately, USCIS does not do anything. It's out of their hands.
Okay,
It's
hear
up
that,
to the
folks?
applicants to contact. There is a fraud line that they could contact to report them. I don't know how successful people have been to get their money back, though.
But as far as your office is concerned, the filing fees are gone for them, and you say, "I'm really sorry, but this is why they leave crying." And folks, I want you to hear this, because this is what you are putting yourself at risk of, in addition to the horrible thing that Radlin just talked about. But at the very least, you're going to be out all of your money.
Right.
I'll tell you what, there are, I'm not going to say that there aren't some crooked lawyers out there in the world. There are some shady lawyers out there in the world, but by and large, most lawyers want to keep their law license. That's a thing that's very important to them.
Yes.
And so they tend to
me.
not commit just brazen fraud and scams like this with immigration, especially. Because then it'd be pretty easy to just contact somebody like the Virginia State Bar, where we are, and tell them what happened. And that's something that lawyers don't want to happen. With these notarios and scammers, the problem you have is that, it's really kind of hard to go after them because they're not accountable to anyone. And when you do try to go after them, they may be gone.
They're gone.
You can't even find them anymore.
Right.
And this is why I always worry when I hear a lot of people have this notion in their head that, oh, this is immigration, so I'm going to get some lawyer. I'm going to have to get somebody in New York City or Washington D.C. because that's where the immigration stuff takes place. And so for years I would have these clients who had problems, and it was always the same story. And I'm not picking on New York, but it was often New York. Almost always it was New York. My immigration lawyer is in New York. Oh, I don't know. I can't get a hold of them anymore. They're not returning my phone calls. I would search the databases and find out that they weren't even there. They didn't even exist some of the time. So just find somebody that's close to you, that's reputable, that you trust. Or if you are going to hire somebody who's not close to you, which is fine, just make sure that you're hiring somebody who has years of immigration experience, that you can look them up, in directories, and you can see that they're a practicing licensed attorney with good Google reviews, so on and so forth. That's my non-legal advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And the notario fraud has gotten so bad, especially now, that there have been enhanced penalties in places like New York and Florida. And
Florida's another one. Yep.
In the article, there is actually a task force here in Virginia, and people in the community are really trying to clamp this down because it is destroying it's not just the money, it's the case too. Just like Odette said, I mean, if you think that they did something but they didn't, and then your child ages out, or you missed out on an opportunity because of a deadline that was missed, then your case is over. Your case is done. So John is right. We don't obviously want to lose. We're knock on wood, right? We don't want to lose our law license. And yes, there are immigration attorneys and other lawyers out there who are not good people. That is true. And you have to be aware of that. You do your due diligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you hire an immigration attorney, not if, when you hire an immigration attorney for your case, you got to do your due diligence. Do they have malpractice insurance? Are they still licensed? Just because your cousin used them 20 years ago doesn't mean that it's still a good attorney to use. So really good tip there.
Yeah, beware the non-attorney one-stop shops. These are danger zones. The folks that are gonna help you translate documents. They're gonna help you maybe get a driving privilege card. They're gonna help you try to get Social Security benefits, and they're also gonna help you file immigration paperwork. That's too many things that they're doing that they're not authorized to be doing. Well, and it's risky.
Right. And for those of you who, are listening and you're thinking, well, this has happened already. You need to immediately go and get your case evaluated by a real lawyer, a real immigration attorney. We are real immigration attorneys.
Indeed.
If you missed the introduction, my name is Radlin Mendoza, and this is my law partner and husband, John Gardner. And we started our law firm 26 years ago, October of 2000, Gardner Mendoza. We're located in Virginia Beach. We serve clients in all 50 states. And we have Odette Batcher with us, and she is a recently retired USCIS senior immigration officer, and she's worked with immigration for 42 years. Now, why do you guys think that Odette is on our live tonight, right? Why do you think Odette is on our live tonight? Because she also wants to share the information, and she's not teaming up with two fake lawyers, right?
Right.
Odette has a reputation. She has an amazing reputation. She has colleagues still at the immigration office, probably all throughout the United States. And so we're trying to help the community. And with Odette's brand of expertise as a USCIS senior immigration officer, I mean, hopefully you guys are getting it that you need to have someone who you can trust to represent you. All right. So, Odette, do you want to add anything else about notario fraud before we move on to scam number 2?
No, everything you said is true. I mean, we do see it a lot, and we do try to, we can't give them a name of an immigration attorney, but we do give them where to find them, to find a real attorney to help them out with their cases. But unfortunately, again, like I said, they don't issue their money back.
Yep. Okay. All right. So scam number 2 we'll hit really quickly is for those of you on social media, or be joining us later when you're watching this again as a replay. There are a lot of immigration attorneys on TikTok, right? And we're on TikTok, our page, we have about 27,000 followers. Almost weekly, we have to go to our page and not our page, but we have to find the scammers on TikTok who have cloned our TikTok page with our image and name, and who are trying to get you to book appointments through that cloned TikTok page, or it could be Facebook, or it could be anything else. So don't fall for it. If someone sends you a message, if it's Radlin Mendoza 007, right? That's not the right username. That's not our username. And you need to go and you say, okay, who sent me this message? Go to their profile. Wait, Radlin Mendoza 007 only has 4 videos up. Like, I have over, hundreds of videos on our TikTok page. Mm-hmm. So that's a fake page. And that goes for any immigration attorney who is on TikTok. And I respect so many of the immigration attorneys on TikTok and professionals, because they are doing the same thing. They're trying to educate you all to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And honestly, ultimately, the right thing is to find a reputable immigration attorney to help you. Okay. So be careful of those cloned accounts, and don't get sucked into that, because we've actually, unfortunately, had people who thought it was us, but it was not us. And they paid hundreds of dollars for a consultation. We felt bad and gave them the consultation for free. But still, it's not, it wastes time, it's money. It feels terrible to be ripped off like that. And just be really careful. You need to, again, do your due diligence and make sure the person that you are talking to is the person who you actually think it is and has the valid page. So that's the second one. And then go ahead.
Well, I was just going to note, Odette, you had mentioned something right before we came on, and it's a really good thing. It's a small thing, but it's a really important thing. And that is, when you're dealing with this immigration paperwork and you're in websites, always look for the website will always be a .gov website.
Right.
Right. And it may not come up first. And so if you're downloading forms, or you're looking for FAQs, whatever it may be, always go to the .gov website.
Yep.
I've actually made this mistake once myself. This was years ago, not in immigration, but it was late at night. We were getting ready to go out of town. I was doing something, and in haste makes waste. That's what they say. I was moving quickly, not paying as close of attention as I should have about a business thing. And I paid $69 for something and realized that it was free. I was on a .com website, not at the .gov website for our city.
Right.
And, that's what happened. It was only, for me, it wasn't a major mistake because I just was out some money and the thing did actually happen. But it could be more dangerous here if you're not on the .gov website. Then you may be sending money somewhere where you're not going to get it back, where they're not actually even going to send you anything or do anything that they're claiming to do. So thank you, Odette, for reminding me of that, because I wanted to mention that. I'd forgotten, and then you mentioned it. So .gov only.
Yeah, and I haven't done a scan of websites out there for immigration, but if you're downloading forms from USCIS.gov, there is no fee. You don't get charged to download a fee. There's a fee for filing, of course, for most of these, but there is no fee to download your applications. If you want to do a draft of your applications, just don't go to that USCIS.com.
Yeah, right.
bio or whatever.
Right.
It is the .gov. All right. So the third one is really gnarly. And it's people who are impersonating USCIS officials or ICE. The story that was in the newspaper article that I was in, it was about a woman whose son from El Salvador was picked up by ICE, and someone reached out to her and said they were an ICE agent and that she needed to pay the bond so her son could get out of detention. So imagine a mom, right? Maybe this was even on Mother's Day. I don't know. Imagine a mom who is desperate to get her son out of detention. What is she going to do? She's going to do everything she can to get her son out of detention. And this was a really terrible case. Thankfully, she didn't pay the person, but because she asked questions, right? She looked it up. She just made sure, and it was very suspicious. The ICE agent was asking payment through Zelle. And Odette, does USCIS take Zelle payments?
We do that. No Zelle, no Cash App, no partial payments.
Right.
No layaway programs, none of that.
Yeah, right. And so this is something to be aware of. Look, for people who are going through this immigration process, again, it's a very stressful time. And we have family members who have been this close to getting scammed. And not an immigration scam, but what was it? It's like, come downtown and present yourself, or be arrested and
come post a bond.
Come post a bond, and it's like, we'll come. You need to come to this location and bring $2,000. This has happened 2 times now, and our family member called us, and we looked at it, and it was completely a fake document. But they were so scared because the scammer knew a little bit about their family. Like, you can bring your daughter if you want. Like, she had no idea how. So frightened that they were out the door to go get this money and pay. And thankfully they called us and we looked at it. And this is like the 3rd time that has happened, and we've seen it. There's like this big traffic scam thing going on right now for people in our area to pay their parking tickets, which they never had a parking ticket, but it's gone to thousands of people. And
I mean, the stuff looks good. We looked at it, and just found some little small mistakes, like calling it the state of Virginia, not Commonwealth. The judge name that's signed, I know all the judges in Virginia Beach, and it wasn't any of the judges that are in Virginia Beach. It's a made up name. But, to the average person looking at it, it looks very authentic.
Right. And the reason I bring this up is because anyone can get fooled. Anyone can get fooled. And people who are filing for immigration benefits, it's going to be 10x, right? There's going to be 10 times the scammers out there just because of everything that's going on. And they are looking for victims. They're looking for desperate people. And a lot of times that's going to be people who are filing for immigration. Do we have any questions that are related?
Let me see. We've got questions, but I haven't seen any that are on point yet. So
well, that's okay. But those were the 3 scams that we wanted to cover. And those imposter scams can get really detailed. There have been reports that there's a whole fake immigration courtroom, and people are going to this immigration courtroom via WebEx or some other, not WebEx, that's what the court actually uses, but Zoom or some other video chat, and it's all fake. It's all fake. So just be aware of these things that are happening, and even more reason to hire an attorney to help you through this and make sure that you don't get caught in one of these scams. All right.
Okay. First question tonight came from Y, who wanted to know, says, my case is still in transit. Can I book an appointment? Thanks.
I'm not sure what that means. Case is still in transit. Maybe it means it's still processing. Yes, you can absolutely book an appointment. We would need more information. So the way that our process works is you would call our office. Our phone number is 757-464-9224. You can actually call or text. And one of our engagement specialists will talk to you about your case, right? And get more facts about your case to see if it's something that we actually can help you with. So we don't do removal cases. We also don't do asylum cases. And so there are things that we can't do and don't do. And so if it falls under the case that we can't do, then we will likely have a referral for you for a couple of our colleagues who might be able to help you. But we'll get more information from you and see if we can't help you with an appointment. Not without appointment, but with an appointment.
With an appointment.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Fuzzy wants to know, how much time is it for filing a green card for my mom now?
So processing times we're talking about consular processing where mom is outside of the United States. This is what I'm talking about. We'll give you both time frames, but the first step, again, when your family member like mom is outside of the United States, there are 3 steps. The first step is to file an I-130 petition. That is taking about 18 months right now. So that's just the first step. So a lot of people think, oh, okay, great, first step, 18 months, great. My mom will be here in 18 months. Not true. Your I-130 petition will hopefully be approved in 18 months if you filed it correctly, right? You submitted the correct documents with it. But then once USCIS approves the case, then it gets transferred to the National Visa Center. It's going to be there for several months. That transfer itself is taking about 60 days right now. So tack on 60 days plus several months more at the National Visa Center. And then the third step is going to be the medical and the interview at the U.S. Embassy. And it really depends on where you are, right? I mean, if you're in Ciudad Juarez, that's probably going to take 8 to 12 months before you even get an interview. And that's one of the busier ones. So it really could take 3 years before mom gets here. And that, I would say that's on the long side. But one thing I can tell you is it's going to take forever if you never make that first step and file that I-130 petition. So if mom is in the United States, processing times locally here anyway, they're like 20.5 months, 20 and a half months in Norfolk. But Odette can back us up on this. Right now, those cases are getting adjudicated about in 6 to 9 months here in Norfolk. Yeah.
Right.
So I have a question about processing time since you're here, Odette. What would make a case get adjudicated so quickly when the USCIS posted processing times are 20 months? And then we're seeing these cases get done in 6 months. Now, obviously, like, I just wanted a disclaimer here. We can't promise you that your case is going to get done in 6 to 9 months. What we can promise you is that the case will be adjudicated within the processing times that USCIS posts. If it gets done earlier, that's just kind of like a lucky bonus. But what would cause that, Odette, if you know?
One thing is all the form is filled out properly, signed properly, and all supporting documents are submitted with that form.
Oh, well,
So
that's
if they have everything they need, it's pretty quick.
okay. All right.
All right, so a clean file that's been done properly is likely to go through more quickly.
Right.
Yes.
And you know, if you're filing an adjustment of status case, you do need to file your medical with it now. That is something that must be filed with your adjustment of status application. You can bring it to the interview. You may get RFE'd for it. You may just get a denial, right? If you don't submit the medical with your package. So submit the medical. Take the time to do that. For the person who asked about mom, if your mom is in the United States, then she might be eligible for adjustment of status. Give us a call. We'd be happy to jump in, help you with your mom's case, and just take this problem off of your hands and give you some peace of mind and get mom here.
Right. Okay. And quickly, Jen wanted to know, how long is an I-212 taking now?
I don't want to guess on this, but I do believe I-212s are taking, you know, up to a year, like at least a year. I did just guess. Sorry. But I think that's what they're taking.
Well, here's one that I won't have to guess. Farhan wants to know, how can I talk to you? You can call us at 757-464-9224 or email info@gmlaw.net. Either of those will work.
Yeah, you can also send us a message
through Messenger.
Yeah, sorry.
All
Message
right.
through Messenger or through TikTok.
Or through TikTok.
And we'll get back with you.
All right. Not a guess. We look forward to hearing from you. All right. Not sure what that was about. Oop. Okay.
I think just the screen up.
No, sorry, gang.
This is right here.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. 22, who was nice enough to join us very early on and give us the thumbs up on the sound, wants to know, I have a USCIS question about religion-only marriage and divorce from 20 years ago.
Religion-only marriage and a divorce from 20 years. Was this a question from last week?
Well, he was with us, he or she, last week, because I
Thank you
recognized
for
the
joining
name.
us again.
Yeah. I don't see the question, though. I teed it up, but then there's no
So
section.
to Osman, yeah, I do remember you from last week. Do you see the question, Odette?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you can ask us the question.
Yeah, you can
Sure.
absolutely ask us the question when you get to it. In the meantime, Manuel wants to know, can I still request an H-2B visa if I've already submitted my I-140?
That is a question that we need a conversation about. That's a question that we need a conversation about. So if you've submitted your I-140 and you're asking for an H-2B visa, I mean, you have to give full disclosure, right? So when you're filling out your DS-160, you have to put on the application that you have an immigrant visa filed on your behalf. Are they going to give you the H-2B? I mean, yes, we've seen cases where they have given the H-2B, but it has to be full disclosure. In those cases, there was an employer, there was a letter from the attorney that said, you know, this person is going to go back for their interview. They're not staying. They're not going to do adjustment of status. So there's a lot that goes into that. And it's like a balancing test, right? So that's a really great question. We do a lot of, people who have I-140s and H-2Bs, and you know, if they're here, whether we can file adjustment of status, and we do a lot of these cases. So give us a call.
Yeah, immigrant, non-immigrant intent. We've got some things swirling around there. Ms. G, can I ask a question?
She's probably like, if you guys stop talking, then I can ask a question.
Absolutely. If we'll see it. We have a question here. How scary is it when my husband has a non-conviction record? How scary is what?
So when I see a question like that, I'm thinking maybe the person has been charged with a crime but was never convicted. Maybe they have pre-adjudication. Maybe it was no pros. Maybe it was dismissed.
Maybe they're thinking of doing a case and don't have a record, and they wonder if that is good. Maybe they're just here undocumented and they're worried about getting.
Maybe you should call us.
Up.
Give us a call, and we can dig deeper.
Yeah, sorry about that. There's just.
How scary is it? The petitioner.
Is it if
the petitioner has a non-conviction record?
The petitioner. Okay.
I mean, if you don't have a conviction, it's not scary. If you have a conviction as the petitioner with anything that deals with child abuse, right? Odette, you've done Adam Walsh. Odette, why don't we talk about that a little bit here? This is a really important question. Petitioner is, let's just say petitioner has a conviction. Okay. What's the conviction of a petitioner that actually matters?
Only the ones where it involves a child.
And
anything. Yeah. I mean, it could be abuse, sexual related. It could be as simple as you leaving a minor unattended. Once anything has to do with a minor, it does go through the service center, through the Adam Walsh division, and they do a full investigation on the petitioner. So
yeah, we really need to know that. We do ask that question. Mm-hmm. Do you have any convictions or charges that deal with children? Yeah,
and child endangerment is something that can come up from time to time, and it can mean a lot of things. So I see the deep dive is to figure out what was actually involved in the case.
Right. So you're saying it's not just it's not just like child molestation. It can be, contributing to the delinquency of a child or that sort of thing. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's grab next question. Probably last question. There's a DACA question.
Yeah. Maddie says, my nephew's DACA is expiring and no status yet. What are his options?
He needs to, we need to talk to him, right? We need to see if there are any type of options for him and if there's anything that he could apply for. So DACA renewals are taking longer. Some of them are falling outside of processing times. And so that's very troublesome for a lot of the DACA applicants because, they're obviously in the workforce, hundreds of thousands of them. And so that's an issue. Your nephew should give us a call. We can evaluate and see if there's anything there that we can help him with and get him legal status through.
Okay, Miss G who asked if she could ask the question. The question is, do you recognize Sharia law? I'm divorced in Sharia law right now, and I'm currently married, and will be filing, I guess, for a spouse or with a spouse. So I guess the question is whether the divorce is valid.
So my understanding, Odette, can you answer that question?
There's a thing on the Sharia law that actually says how long the woman has to wait before she can remarry. And all that has to come into play. We've had several cases where the woman has remarried too soon.
Okay.
And so based on that alone, I mean, they want to argue, but the burden of proof is on you to find that out.
Yeah. So I personally don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. It's something that we would have to research. Our attorneys may know off the bat if they filed a case like that. I haven't, but what Odette is saying is that there is some cases where she's worked on where there has to be a waiting period where you can't get married right away after you're divorced if you're a woman under Sharia law. So something to look into. I mean, we'd be also happy to help you with that.
Yeah, Ms. G, we can help you track down the information if you want to contact our office.
Yep.
Schedule a consultation.
I know Dad has worked on a case like that, so
That's
you know
right.
she can help with that.
That's right.
She can help with that.
Okay, we are at the 45-minute mark, my friends. And you know what that means? It means Radlin's deciding whether we should take more questions.
No, wait, there was a really good one. Which one is so? How do we know which one is next?
This was the House Scary, the
Okay.
Sharia law.
Does it
the
go up
scary
or
with the
down?
Petitioner.
So there was a question.
We were here.
Those last two questions that actually the last ones there.
Yep. Okay, Radlin's just really trying to get one more in here.
No.
one
Wait,
here?
well, I mean, Saul says, well, real quick, what is the reality of going into hiding from ICE after a removal order being issued? I can't really answer that question. What is the reality? I mean, what's the reality of going into hiding? Is I think the question is, what is the reality of not being caught if you go into hiding? Correct?
Probably.
Can't answer that question.
Yeah,
Nor
I mean,
can we.
Yeah, you have a final removal order. We can't advise you to go into hiding.
Well, I don't
That's
think
up
he's
to you.
asking us to advise him about going into hiding. It's more of like, what's the reality of, getting caught? But John is right. We can't answer a question where, we're recommending or suggesting that you break the law in any way. So if you weren't here earlier, we do everything that we can, most lawyers, to keep our law license, and advising or recommending that you break the law it's a non-starter for us.
Right.
Which is why we don't take fake marriage cases.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But you're right. The question might be like, what do we think the reality of getting caught? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends a lot on where you are,
where you live, where do you work,
live, and what you're doing, what kind of work.
Maybe Odette can answer this question. What's the Odette? I don't know. If you don't know the answer, just say. But what do you think?
I feel the same way you guys do.
All right. Okay. All right. Last question.
This one here?
Yeah.
All right. I'm on a green card. I'm a green card holder, and my wife and kids have overstayed their ESTA visa.
You need to become a citizen. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So question is, when do you become a U.S. citizen? When can you become a U.S. citizen? How long have they overstayed? What about them going back? Depending on how long they've overstayed. So there's a lot of questions here. There's a couple of really bad moves that you can make, depending on the facts of your case. So you need to call us. You need to call us and let us help you through this, so you're not making catastrophic mistakes for your family.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
And Jim Parker says, happy belated Mother's Day.
Thank you. And Odette, I wish you a happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Wish that to you on the actual day, but the day before. So, all right.
Okay, everyone.
Fantastic. We will be here.
We are
next
over
week.
The time now.
We're over the time. That's true.
But
you do got one good question that you love is fiance one.
What?
I mean, you love fiance one.
Which one? Which
By
one is
Queen?
I'm Queen here.
Queen.
Yeah.
Wait, Queen was here last week.
Okay, well, the last one said they're going to contact our office and make a consultation. So let's go ahead.
All right. Okay. Let's do it.
And also thank us for our service. Thank you. Hi, Mom. Hi, ma'am. Hi, Mama.
Do I have another child?
I'm going to be calling my mother tonight. I just jumped. Hi, Mama. Hi, ma'am. Can we still approve when my fiance is divorced in the U.S. but in the Philippines is not yet divorced.
Your Odette's making us take this. So let me just make sure your okay, sorry. Can you still get approved if fiance is divorced in the United States? So your fiance is divorced in the United States, but in the Philippines, your fiance is not divorced.
Not
So
divorced yet.
number one, you cannot get a divorce in the Philippines. Divorce is not possible in the Philippines. You can get an annulment, but if your fiance is divorced in the United States and your fiance wants to petition for you now, right, as their fiance, his or her fiance, and they're already divorced, the divorce is recognized by USCIS so long as it's a lawful divorce in the United States, right?
She said that he was married in the Philippines. He already filed the recognition of divorce here in the Philippines.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he has a valid US divorce, that will be seen as valid to USCIS when you guys submit your I-129F and you have to submit a divorce decree. Your fiance can submit their United States divorce decree. There's no divorce in the Philippines. It's an impossibility. She or he can't get a divorce in the Philippines. So what you have to do, actually, Queen, is be a queen and call us, because I'm a queen too. So like queen
has to do. Call us.
Yeah, awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Odette, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you again so much for joining us. Sorry that we have run so far over the time.
This used to be an hour show.
I know, and now it's
then it got cut down to 30.
We're 8 minutes shy of an hour right now.
7 minutes.
No, it's 8.
Okay. All right.
You're right.
6, 7.
Moving
all right.
to 7 now. Moving to 7.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks for answering, ma'am and sir. You are very, very welcome. And we will see all of you back here next Wednesday on Facebook, TikTok. Hopefully Odette will be joining us, and we will be here from 8 to 8:45 with a topic to discuss and to answer your questions. All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks,
Good night.
Bye.